Welcome to my podcast. I'm the Laughing Philosopher. Life is complicated. You are complicated. Everything seems to have been figured out, except how to live a happy life, guided by wisdom and reason. What does it mean to be a good person? What is love? Who am I before I was told who I am? Why haven't I found myself yet? Why do I have regrets? Is this a just world? Almost from the moment of birth, we've been told how to behave, how to fit in, and how to fulfill other people's expectations. We grow to fear that we will lack importance or cease to exist in the lives of others if we think for ourselves and question the rules and roles that we've been told define us. Only when wisdom and reason removes this illusion can we live authentically in the world around us and become our real selves. Episode 3. Have you found yourself yet? Why not? What's your problem? Once I was driving through rural Georgia, and I noticed an advertisement tacked to a telephone pole. It promised wealth and success. Know your strengths and weaknesses, it promised. Control your life and realize your true potential. The little poster said, "Find yourself." I thought to myself, maybe the problem is that the thing you are looking for and the thing that's looking for it are the same thing. Does it make sense to ask the self to find something it already is? Is self-discovery the big cosmic purpose of life? Is this the big important key to success and happiness? Discover who you are or lead a poor, empty, meaningless life. If your life is pointless and has no meaning, then life is not worth living, and you'd be better off calling it quits. Find yourself, or suicide is a legitimate choice. That's what we're told. But are we heading down a dead-end street? Animals may worry about feeding their young and escaping predators, but they don't worry about whether life is pointless or what life is for. Heidegger asked, "Why are we the only being who questions its being?" Maybe we're wasting our time looking within for our one true authentic self, for the simple reason that there's nothing there to find. Theseus, legendary Greek warrior, won many sea battles. To honor him, the people of Athens preserved his ship in their port. From time to time, a plank would decay beyond repair and have to be replaced. One by one, all of the planks were replaced. So, is it still the ship of Theseus? What do we mean by shipness anyway? You are made up of atoms, and your atoms are lost and replaced all the time. Once all of your atoms have been replaced by new ones, are you still you? What do we mean by the self anyway? Get a picture of yourself as an infant. Is that you in the picture? Yes or no? If you say yes, then look in a mirror. You look very different from the baby in the picture. In what ways are you and the person in the picture the same? If you say no, then who is in the picture? Who are you is not an easy question to answer. You are only aware of yourself as no longer what you were, and not yet what you will be. Don't think of yourself as something fixed and unchanging. Think of yourself as a project. You are a leaf on a river of possibilities. The self is empty. Your self is not a problem with a deep cosmic solution to be figured out. There is no profound truth waiting to be discovered about you, about who you are and what you should be. Maybe the meaning of life is hard to find, not because it's concealed, but because it's too close to the eyeball, right in front of your eyes, hidden by familiarity. Maybe we possess the secret of life and just don't realize it. Maybe it's closer than the vein in your neck. Maybe it's just the process of living, just thinking and feeling and doing. After all, many people seem to lead a rich, full, happy life without ever finding its secret meaning. Some months ago, I was reading the news. A man committed suicide. He was a famous man, a wealthy and powerful man, who moved through the business world like a god. He had it all. He had everything. Everything that most people think they want. He left a note that said he was bored with the whole damn thing. Are you bored with everything? God was bored, so he created Adam. Adam was bored, so God created Eve. Eve was bored and made friends with Satan. Satan was bored, so he tempted Eve to do something forbidden to her. Eve was bored and thought to herself, why not? God was bored with Adam and Eve and banished them from heaven. Adam and Eve were bored with God and decided to give Earth a try. Most people are willing to change the whole course of their lives to possess some person or something they will be bored with in a few months. And then we feel that somehow we've been cheated. Desire is necessary to life. But be smart about your desires. Hinduism speaks of 4 worldly desires: pleasure, wealth, fame, and power. And Hinduism also speaks of how these desires are insatiable, unattainable, unfulfilling, and fleeting. And yet, people can't seem to get enough of what they don't really want. Life may be more meaningful with these things, but that doesn't make them count as the meaning of life. If you mistake the means of life for ends in themselves, then you'll be willing to die for them. And most people do. Maybe that's why Jesus had more to say about money than about heaven. Don't worry too much about the things other people can give you. Worry about the things that only you can give yourself. To know friendship, to know loyalty, to know wisdom, to know generosity. You want to taste sugar. You don't want to become sugar. Escher had a gift for drawing pictures that appear quite ordinary, but actually are quite impossible. People ascend and descend on a set of stairs that goes nowhere. Despite endless effort, they just go up and down without purpose, without joy, and without hope, without ever getting anywhere. I'm tired of everything. Why should I bother to make my bed every morning, since it will only get messed up again that very night? Why should I bother to eat only to get hungry again? Why should I bother to raise my children to be good Americans? Just so they'll become the kind of parents who raise their children to be good Americans. Sisyphus was a king who committed crimes against Zeus. As punishment, Sisyphus was condemned to roll a great stone up a hill, only to see it roll back down, where he pushed the rock up once more. He accomplishes nothing. He knows this. He isn't getting anywhere despite his endless efforts. His life is pointless. So why is Sisyphus happy? Sisyphus is a hero. He's a hero because he gives his life value by the way he lives it. Sisyphus gives it his all. He gives it everything he's got. He pushes on untiringly. You too have moments of pleasure, but nothing lasts for long. Only because your life is pointless and meaningless do you then have the power to work out and determine its meaning for yourself. Your life is not something settled, but must be decided in its living, untiringly. Maybe the meaning of life turns out to be an individual choice. Not some big, sexy, cosmic purpose, but something boring, something everyone can do just by thinking about it. Maybe the meaning of your life is simply what you choose to make of it. Life itself may be pointless, but your life is as meaningful as you choose to make it. So make it good. No excuses. You exist for yourself, and your existence must be worked out by you alone. You are a self-creation. It's a profound mistake to think of yourself as a thing which must be found. Like misplaced car keys. The answer to the question of who you are is how you actually go about living your life. The Buddha spoke of being filled with horror because he thought he had stepped on a deadly snake. But as he looked down, his fear and anxiety vanished. He had stepped on a rope, and he laughed at his mistake. Just as all of your worry and anxiety will vanish as soon as you realize that the purpose of your life is in you. It's not something down the road. There's nowhere else you need to go. Not one of your footsteps leads away from it. You already are where you need to be. It won't come to you by waiting for it. All you get by waiting is more waiting. Jesus said, "You'll never see what you don't see today. Wherever I go, paradise is where I am," said Voltaire. This could be the best day of your life. You hold all the cards. A typical human heart beats about 3 billion times in a lifetime. 3 billion isn't such a big number. What are you doing with your heartbeats? You won't find yourself by looking for it. We've figured out everything else. Don't you think it's time we figured out how to live? Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Corey, the Laughing Philosopher. Thanks for listening to my podcast. I've devoted my professional life to the intersection of sociology and philosophy, where the contemporary problems of life meet the ideas and convictions of the greatest human minds. Join me by subscribing to The Laughing Philosopher as we use reason and wisdom to explore big answers to the most important of all big questions: how to live.